Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports, and sports is just something that we don't talk about. My name is Dyl, and this is now day 2 of the Virginia Film Festival. Last night, I had the pleasure of seeing Bradley Cooper's Maestro. My full review will be on last night's video at the very end, but I guess just to give a little tease and a little bit more of what I needed to say last night was, I think this is a very well-crafted film. The tech elements here are amazing. Matthew Libatic's cinematography, the makeup work, the costumes, the production design, it's all very well done. I think Cooper and Mulligan are very good in their roles. I just wish the movie had a better pacing. To me, it gets bogged down at certain moments, and I just wish it went deeper into the Bernstein's relationship and the struggles that they had, as well as showcasing more of Leonard Bernstein's amazing talent in the musical sequences, because when we do get these scenes, the movie hits in full force. As I talked about last night, there's a specific scene where Bernstein gets to conduct in like a church-like setting, and everything in this movie just hits and works so well. Cooper's performance is magnetic. The sound design is immaculate. The cinematography is awe-inspiring, and I just love that scene, and I wish there was more of that in the movie. Carey Mulligan also gets one moment where she gets a shine. It's during a Thanksgiving Day parade. Her and Cooper are having an argument. Cooper's direction in this scene is amazing. That's one thing that I think Maestro does better than A Star is Born, is Cooper gets to be a better director in this movie. And in this scene, he decides just to leave the camera wide. He doesn't zoom in at all. You don't get to see the actors' faces very much, so you have to listen to their words and their tone, and just so much is affected. Just so much is communicated during this scene. But enough about last night. Let's get into today, because I get to see 2 brand new movies. The first will be Rustin, Coleman Domingo vehicle for him to possibly get the Best Actor. I know when Matt walked out of this, he was like, Coleman Domingo is winning actor. And a lot of other pundits out there have said the same as well. I currently don't even have him in my 5. So I'm very interested to see how this performance is, as well as the movie as a whole, because last year, our Best Actor winner, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, I very much did not like The Whale, and in part did not really like his performance, but you know, he went on to win, so maybe I feel the same about Rustin today. And then up after that, I see American Fiction, Jeffrey Wright, Cord Jefferson, this one Tiff, this one Middleburg, and you know what? Bold prediction, it's winning Virginia as well. So with all the craziness of yesterday, I didn't really get a chance to show you like where these movies are at and like the town that I'm in, because Charlottesville is a beautiful place. So I have some time until Rustin today. It's not until 5 p.m. So let's take a look at all of these theaters, because we have some beautiful theaters here, and the strip where everything is at, it's so connected. You can walk to everything, park your car somewhere for the week, and you're all set to go. So this is the Paramount Theater. This is where most of our big movies get to show. So like Maestro last night, American Fiction will be here tonight, and all like the big ones that the Q&As will be shown here. There's so many restaurants here. If you ever get hungry, grab yourself and eat. And if for editing and writing reviews, boom, the table's right here. Now, if I didn't want to watch Origin, this is what I would be at. While this might not be TIFF, we still got Canada here. Our next theater is the Violet Crown, which, as you can tell down here, normally shows big movies, but during the film festival, they transform it into a spot where a lot of the international and documentary features play. And then we have the true cinema double feature, Killers of the Flower Moon and the one and only Taylor Swift. And then over here we have the Filmmakers Lounge. That's where I'm gonna walk into right now to edit yesterday's video, you know, the Maestro one opening night, as well as to edit my article for Midnight's Critics of my full deep dive review of Maestro. All right, I've done some editing, and now it's time to go to our next theater, which will be the Colbreth Theater. This one is a little bit far away at the drive here, but this is where all of our gala screens will happen, including one of Rustin. So let's go in.
In a gift from the movie gods, and I also like to say in a gift from the black queer gods, because this movie is about that. Higher Ground, the Obama's production company and Netflix, had just opened its doors a month earlier. So after we had the brilliant director George C. Wolfe on board, we sent the script to the Obamas and to Higher Ground. They loved it and wanted to come on board. They're executive producers of the film, and the rest is hopefully going to be Bayard Rustin taking his rightful place in history. So please, I'm very much looking forward to speaking with you afterwards and having a conversation with Kevin. Please enjoy Rustin.
So Rustin tells the underrepresented story of Byron Rustin. He is both a civil rights activist and a gay man in a time where being black and gay is very much not in his favor. And Coleman Domingo, everything you've heard is completely true. He is a tour de force in this role. He just shows how great of an actor he is. He's been in so many supporting performances, from Zola to Euphoria and so many more, and now he finally gets to be the leading man and just knocks out of the park. I think Rustin's a lot better than most people have said it is. They've said it's boring, and yeah, it kind of follows the steps of a generic biopic. But with this lead performance from Domingo, where he is just so good, it keeps you captivated throughout. I thought the ensemble here all served their roles very well, and I think this movie does a great job of reporting on an underrepresented story that you don't get to hear much about, like in history class or on the news. And overall, I think the movie should get props for that. Is this any technical marvel like Maestro was last night? No, definitely not. No flashy cinematography, production design, cinematography, but the costume work here, the makeup and hairstyle, especially in Rustin's teeth, is so good. And I could see, if Domingo is a candidate to win Best Actor, I could see a package of maybe, makeup to get in there. The song from Lenny Kravitz, which isn't the best thing in the world, no, but it's fun, it's groovy, it's a Lenny Kravitz song. So overall, Oscar prospects would be actor, makeup and hairstyling, and song. I forgot to include this when I was talking about Rustin, but one thing I think that could have magnified Rustin to go up from maybe a 7 to an 8 would be if it nailed the ending. But to me, once we got to the March on Washington, the movie kind of just ends, and it feels very anticlimactic. Like, we get a scene with a speech, and we get to see a shot with all the people there, but I think we get so little. Like, we're building to this monumentous occasion, and then the movie just stops. It ends, and like the credits, it shows some photos from the actual march, but also feels like it's just like an afterthought. Like, yeah, I get the stories about Rustin and how he came to make the march happen, but I feel like if it's such a big event, you want to showcase how big that event is. So I thought I was gonna have to stand by for American Fiction, but someone was kind enough to just give me their extra ticket, and look what we got. Boom, right up front again.
Because if there's one film that I wanted to watch, an audience watch, that I've been dying to watch with you, it's clearly this one. And the reason for this is it's one of the funniest and simultaneously the most cutting and incisive films that I've seen in quite some time. It's a conversation starter, and it's a conversation that I promise you'll be having for days.
This is just such a tremendous honor. Making anything is a vulnerable experience. It's a vulnerable experience to make art. It's a vulnerable experience to put your work in front of a bunch of people, particularly when you've done it for the first time. And particularly when there's, it's a thing that's very, very personal to you. There's a lot of me in this film, and I was terrified to put it out into the world. And so to receive this recognition for my first time out of the gate it means the world to me, because I was terrified to do it, and I wasn't sure that it would be received well at all. And so the fact that it's at a festival like this one that's been around for almost as long as I've been on Earth, that's had so many wonderful films play here before me, it just feels like I'm in league with so many of my heroes. So I really can't thank the Virginia Film Festival enough. Thank you so much. Just a couple of years ago, I had to I got into a conversation with my manager because I had turned in a script, and one of the notes that came back from one of the higher ups at the studio was essentially, we need to make this character blacker. And I said to my manager, I will indulge that note if this person gets on the phone and tells me what it is to make somebody blacker. I said, if she wants to get on the phone with me and chat with me about what it is that makes a person blacker, then I will happily sort of like have that conversation. And of course, that note went away because sort of the person knew that the minute that they tried to explain that they would put their foot in their mouth. Presence, he always has had that for me. He's always been, he's got gravitas. It's like no matter who he's playing, you always want to pay attention to him and hear what he's saying. Part of it is that sonorous voice of his is so lovely. But also I think that he sort of like had the range. I think that frequently people don't think that dramatic actors can play comedic roles, but I just think that we've seen time and again that if somebody's talented, they can be funny and dramatic. I mean, it's like Robert De Niro in Meet the Parents, right? Like, he's a tremendous actor, so he has that skill set. And I think that I just knew that Jeffrey could be this lovable grump and sort of like had, you know, because this is also a very, you know, there's a world in which this character is like, you're like, screw this guy. He's a jerk to everybody. He's getting in fights with his students and his bosses and his family and his girlfriend. Like, he's rude. Like, I don't want to pay attention to him. I don't want to root for him. It's actually a very sort of like difficult tightrope walk for that kind of character. And I just felt that Jeffrey had such a sort of like tremendous skill set that he could be this lovable grump. He could sort of like be winning and also prickly and annoying, but that you sort of like want to root for him. And I also knew that he could be funny. I just felt that sort of like in my bones that he could also be hilarious when needed. So yeah, that's what drew me to it.
So, I am fresh out of American Fiction, and this is winning Virginia Film Festival in a just world, and I wish this was an original screenplay so it could sweep the award season. The script is so amazing. The way it adapts the source material and elevates it to a new high. Cord Jefferson was here for a Q&A. There's some videos that are attached. I got to ask him a question. That was super cool, but yeah, American Fiction delivers in every way possible. And I hate to say this because I fall into the camp what the movie's making fun of. I am a white man laughing at racial stereotypes, but it just, the way it writes it is so clever. It's so inspiring. It's so authentic. I just really love the screenplay here, and the ensemble cast is electric. Everyone feels like they are perfect for their role. Part of my question to Cord Jefferson was the way this movie feels. It feels like it was written for Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown, and he actually had Jeffrey Wright in mind while writing the screenplay. Like, he was reading in Jeffrey Wright's voice, and that just comes through the screen. Wright is fantastic in the leading role. He delivers. He nails the comedy, he nails the drama moments, and he just makes us feel like a very living, real type of person. And Sterling K. Brown, my man, gets to have some of the best lines in this movie. His delivery is perfect. He is so funny, but he also nails some of those more dramatic and suspenseful areas. And I felt like his presence in the movie was just a breath of fresh air. The rest of this ensemble is perfect, from characters who are just in one scene to characters who are in there throughout the entire movie. So that brings us to awards prospects, and American Fiction, back when we did our film ball draft, was something I snagged pretty late. I got in the 6th round. Same round I got All Quiet on the Western Front last year, so that makes me 2 for 2 getting these movies super late because picture seems locked. Adapted screenplay, throw Cord Jefferson in there. I wish I could put him at number 1, but Oppenheimer, Poor Things, they got to be above it for now. But if we start to hit some gills and this starts winning, I could see American Fiction becoming an adapted screenplay winner. So we have screenplay, we have picture. I would put Jeffrey Wright into the acting conversation. Is he my favorite performance in the movie? No, but he is doing this so well. In a just world, Sterling K. Brown would get in for a supporting actor nomination. I just think the field's too tough this year. I mean, you have Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Robert De Niro, Mark Ruffalo. That leaves 1 spot left. So that moves us down into some tech elements, editing, comedy movies. We talk about it all the time, how they get in. And I feel like this checks off one of those boxes for comedic editing. Yes, we have Barbie, but I feel like this can be our number 2. The original score in this movie is also pretty entrancing. Like, I would not be mad if this got in. And in a year where scores are sparse and kind of weak, let's throw a bone here, get American Fiction's package up a little bit more. So at this moment, walking out of the movie, fresh thoughts, I would say picture, adapted screenplay, actor, editing, and original score. 5 nominations for American Fiction. And you know what? I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna put that at number 3 for Best Picture. Okay, so I've already recorded my main part about American Fiction, but I'm currently trying to find my car in the parking lot. You know, I had to rush from Rustin to make it here in time, so I didn't really look to see what number I was. However, one thing I forgot to mention in my main part of my review was behind me was one of the literature instructors who had taught the guy who moderated the conversation, and Cord actually talked to him during the Q&A, and they talked about how accurate or inaccurate parts of the book were, because it's not a one-for-one adaptation from page to the screen. There is a lot that is switched in the adaptation, but he but the literature professor assured that almost all the changes were for the better and made the story more engaging, more funny, more seamless. So I think that really bodes well for this film and adapted screenplay. And for the film overall, it's not like one of those movies, or it's not like one of those books that are turned into movies that you walk out and be like, oh, the book was better. No, they're saying the movie's better. So, you know, poor thing Zombie, you might have to watch out. American Fiction is coming for you. And if you made it this far in the video, you know, maybe consider dropping a like, a subscription, a comment. It helps the channel grow and makes me know that people are actually watching this far. Tomorrow, I'll probably include more thoughts of American Fiction, like I did at the beginning of this video for Maestro, just because, you know, when you sleep on the movie, you have more to really think about and to grasp. And this is a movie I can't wait till it comes out in theaters on Christmas Day. And that closes the second night of the Virginia Film Festival.